Process, procedure, method, and mode. Hauling and transport, load and unload. Sometimes it's intrigue and big picture stuff, but teddy bears, after all, are mostly fluff. The Bilgewater, after all, is a rookery ship. It's more than skirmishes and die packs. They may engage in subterfuge to maintain territory and oppose malicious actors, but their fundamental purpose is communication. Perhaps as a vocation, or a cover, or a temporary dream, our sailors have found themselves in rare legitimate business, if they can handle it. Welcome to Bloodwine. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hello. So, yeah, it's been a bit.
Just a little bit.
It's been a little bit. Just a little, like one metric bit, little size.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 2 metric bits.
That goes up to 4.
2 LBs. I don't know what the conversions are, but welcome back. It's been a little while. When last
It's
been 2 weeks since you looked at us. Blew some boats up. I think that's all.
I mean, we did do an ink bomb on the Empress, but like that, the escape was the cool part.
Yeah.
It was more like the last session was the ink bomb, and then the next session was a cool escape, and then the opener to the second session was the results of the first one.
Yes.
So, like, if you watch 2 episodes ago and are like, wait, the bomb went off, you missed an episode, the bomb went off. Every now and then I realize how much of this game is just setting up explosives, and I'm like, man, I really hope that we're not on a watch list.
We've set up a lot of explosives on this show.
Well, you know, it's like, what else are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Anyway, so if you're the agent assigned to us, and you're sitting here going, is this, like, informational material on how to set up explosives, I'm pleased to tell you no. Sometimes it's about package delivery. So that is what you guys are slotted as. Ever since you guys got your robes, you've been inducted further into the rookery. You're getting, like, higher levels of trust with your work. So all of you have, like, the mask, you have the robes, and you guys are coming back to the old haunt of Sepulchre Station, which is the town you were in a couple of times. It's one of those towns where there's no sign, so you forget what the name of it is, but you know that it's where the bent anchor is, and that's where you guys are set up. So I'll put it in your hands. You've been assigned to... Would you guys rather, like, pick in character or out of character, just for flavor? Like, what your time slot is.
Up to you guys.
I think we should pick out of character.
Yeah.
Because Sun would not remember or care.
There are 3 runs that you guys would be assigned to. I'm going to say not necessarily like you're picking time for the opener, just pick a time for like the run that you're going on, and the opener will be a little chunk before. There's the Sunshine Run, which is in like bright and early in the morning. There's the Business Load, which is like midday to late night, and then the Midnight Cruise, which is night.
I feel like Midnight Cruise really fits with us, just as sort of a party.
Oh yeah.
I mean, yeah, we're at this point. I'd be slightly concerned about some of the like blockades that the Empire has been putting up, because someone sent some mail to the Empress that people weren't happy about, and
It wasn't me. I had nothing to do with that.
yeah,
Me too.
exactly.
Nothing to do with it.
So I'd be worried about those blockades, people keeping an eye out for us.
Yeah.
We did
Like,
escape on the
specifically
Bilgewater
us.
like 3 different times.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good question. Did they spot you, or were they pulling you over?
They were pulling us over, and then we fought back, which I think made them go, okay.
Yeah.
But they didn't get to send out the messenger.
Right.
Jane shot.
I mean, they might have survived.
Yeah, we didn't kill all of them. There was a lot of survivors that saw our ship. But anyone that got a good close look at us.
Saw our ship. That messenger, I don't think was one of them. I don't think that messenger was one of them.
That's true. Messenger, no, but...
He turned into a crow, flew, like, way up into the air, then got shot by an arrow, and just kind of went into the water.
Yep.
Yeah.
At some point, if you're high enough, hitting water is like hitting concrete.
Man.
Crunch.
Yeah.
So you guys are at the bent anchor at like 9 p.m. and your shift starts soonish. You have to report to the rookery. So things are ramping up and literally you're like awkwardly finishing your dinner and like any minute now you're gonna get up and someone's gonna like get onto your table before all the dishes are cleaned up kind of thing. What day is it at the bent anchor?
Tuesday.
Tuesday?
Wing night.
Wing night.
Yeah.
So you're sitting there like eating obviously wings, you know, multiple flavors of wings, as there's like a bunch of like 60-year-old boomer gays, like the couple of people. I'm making this too much of reality. I was gonna be like the 3 people who survived the AIDS crisis, but like I don't want to tie this too closely together in reality. There's a bunch of boomer gays and like denim and like old pirate gear and bits of leather who are all talking about the good old days for wing nights. You guys,
man, 20 years ago, wing night, that was way better than wing night now.
Yeah, telling stories about the time they threw a brick at a cop, you know.
Yeah.
Classic gay culture. You guys pick up your plates, set them to the side, server picks them up as soon as possible, and someone's already sitting down in the booth, and you are out in the street. I leave it up to you.
What are we doing again? What's going on?
We're
reporting in.
Oh, okay, so it's night and okay, so we gotta go get the stuff from the rookery probably?
Yeah, we're doing the mail run. Wasn't it supposed to be someone supervising us, or... Because we all know how well that went last time. We were unsupervised.
We do great unsupervised.
Oh no. Oh no. Are you losing me?
Just a little bit.
I think that what it is that you're just overloading the mic is all. I don't know if how much of it is internet, but it's like, I'll put it this way. Sometimes you cut out, and it's usually when you're making a loud noise. So, yeah, you guys are supposed to meet up with a supervisor. You see the rookery up there, there's some people coming and going, it's a bit dead, and there's like a very, very squat-looking rooker, just like every now and then pulling up the mask a little bit to take a drag.
I'm looking over like, is that our guy? Should we go talk to him, or?
Yeah, I'm gonna walk up. I'm gonna be like, hey, we got a midnight run that we gotta do. Are you the guy we need to talk to?
The rooker kind of looks up at you, all presumably in like plain clothes, and is like, well, I mean, we have lots of runs.
Right.
I'm kind of in the back trying not to jump in and ruin everything, but also like this seems like it could go simple. Like we could make this a lot easier just by being forthright.
Could we maybe like get dressed and like have the paper? Do we have papers for this that we need to present possibly?
The rooker quietly sort of like lifts the mask a bit and is like, just to be clear, I know it's you, but pretend you don't know me. Bring your ship up, ropes and all. Puts the mask back down.
Awesome.
I'm
gonna walk away.
Was that so hard? You know, if I'm ever designing a mail service, I'm gonna straightforward, you know.
Yeah, super straightforward. People get their mail fired to them via cannon.
Yeah.
You might be onto something.
Imagine you're walking down the street and there's a letter that just like whizzes between you and a passing car. Like,
no.
Wait.
It would have to be like it would have to be like a villain's tower, basically. It's just super tall in the town, and it just has a cannon that it just kind of goes, yeah, fires right into your door.
Crashes through your window, and you pick it up, and it's a subway coupon.
Yeah. What you do is you have people scrying so that you know exactly where the person is, and then you just sort of launch it around the curvature of the earth directly into their skull.
Yeah.
Something like meaty thuds in your living room, crashes through the window, you're like, what the fuck? There's like a dead swan that's been impaled on a letter, and you pull it out, and it's a flybird that says Arby's, we got the meats.
I think in this world, I would want to be someone who does glass repair.
Seeds!
It sounds like a very lucrative business.
The meats, we got them!
Got him.
Right, so you guys make your way back to the ship. Rooker, Bilgi, Tiana, and Ken and Ye are all sort of like just, doing a quick swab, hauling some things, puttering around, watching the docks.
Swab it, cowboy.
You swap
Rooker nods at you, assuming that any sort of, like, hit it, tiger, slap it, duder, choke me, daddy, whatever it is, just like, that means the ship goes.
Man, once we finally do our Corner Gas podcast, it's going to be a lot funnier when I say, give her snooze!
We should do the Corner Gas podcast.
Oh my god.
Only so that we have something to do, like, an additional day out of the week. Watch old episodes of Corner Gas with Brent Butt, like, awkwardly flirting with...
Oh god.
The thing is, in hindsight, they were, maybe 5 years apart or something? It's just
that
and hit middle age about a decade earlier, and dramatically.
Yeah.
I should know. I hit it a couple decades earlier.
I'm pretty sure that that Brent Butt in like elementary school looked exactly like that. He didn't physically change, he just got slightly taller.
The womb looking like that.
At least they never made him suave. You know?
Him, Danny DeVito. Right, no, they did that with Hank, though.
Yeah, they did it with Hank, but it was also Karen. Like,
Which
I don't know,
also,
dude. It's Karen and Davis.
Hank is the same person who, picks up stray pants off the street, so...
Yeah.
Stray pants.
So you guys unmoor yourselves, quickly throw on your robes, and start just kind of, trolling along the dockside until there's an open spot. You moor up by the loading bay for the check-in. The Rooker waves you over and goes, checking in?
Yeah, we're Rookers.
Alright. Name of, and, takes out a clipboard, name of the ship, name of the... Roll odds or evens.
Somebody want to do that? I don't have my dice out yet.
I will. Odds. I rolled a 3.
You suddenly realize that you are not talking to the same Rooker you were a minute ago. They've, altered in height by, 6 inches, and the tail is, 3 shades darker.
Okay.
Sun has not noticed.
Alright, so, at this point, there's a random Rooker who's alright, ship name, Rooker names?
Bilgewater.
Yay!
Yeah,
It's Sun.
Crowquill.
You look good! You hear our Bilgy in the background.
Sorry, just imagine Bilgy's name is actually written down as ARRR, Bilgy.
No, it's his first initial is R.
Yeah, it's Richard. He's Dick Bilgy.
Oh no.
For the record, that's not canon. I can't just drop shit like that here and necessarily assume it'll be taken.
It would totally become canon. I wouldn't
forget
it. I wouldn't let you forget it.
Man.
Well, especially because half the universe is a meme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is true. There's a lot of memes in this universe that we've just kind of made up on the spot.
I mean, Ocean Biscuit is a very successful company.
Ocean Biscuit TM.
Ocean Biscuit Rangers.
So you guys muscle past. There's a bunch of other rookers. They point you in the right direction, and the instructor finds you and just kind of makes sure and goes, "Hey, this is Croquill and Tiana and all them, right?"
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. So, welcome to your first delivery run. This is going to be your standard daily runs. You can sign on to these as long as you like. Keep trucks as long as they'll stay.
Cool.
Alright, sounds good.
Alright, first thing we do is pickups. You guys remember your serial systems?
Yeah.
Nope.
No, but I'm going to say yes.
They're not complicated. Yeah, of course we remember the serial systems. They're not complicated.
With the dearth of opinion, the rooker just kind of stops for a moment. You can see the beak point down at the clipboard and look up and go, "Is there someone here who knows enough about the systems that everyone else cannot know?"
Yeah, that's son. Croquill just goes,
Alright. Son, do you know the system or do you want to go point him out? We gotta pick him up for today's delivery going to, let's see, Western Isle, Dragon Isle, Northern Isle, and Mainland.
Yeah, those all sound like places reachable by boat.
Alright, do you want to give me some kind of roll for identifying the crates you need to haul?
Yeah.
Mainland is actually entirely landlocked.
It
was some equidistant point in the middle of all the land that people were just like, this is the mainland.
Yeah, okay, I'm just gonna do...
They built a rookery around a bird nest, but it was a really shitty, weird bird nest halfway up the hill.
Alright, I have got in,
You having trouble?
Sun is really good at munitions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was gonna say, when it comes to memorizing cereals and things, that would be a mental munitions roll, he's got to know a bunch of gauges. I feel like a similar thing. I rolled a 5. I rolled a 5 for mental munitions.
Wow. Did you get just ones?
I got ones across the board, baby.
Son's just like, guns go blam.
Yeah. Son's like, listen. Yeah, I know all about hexadecimals. You got your, I got the codes. You got your 5.9 Gs. You got your 32 bores. You got your 9 pounds of powder. You gotta change Otto's gear ratios, and kind of just gets lost in completely unrelated thoughts.
I wonder what the oil levels are, and then he walks away.
Yeah.
It's like, oh no.
God. So you guys are sitting there as Sun kind of is looking at the crates and then looking at the ship, and then kind of gets transfixed by the ship, and you can watch it's a wall of crates, and the rookers nearby slowly erode it out as they load, and you can see the outline of the the pallet you're supposed to take starting to get carved.
Okay.
Alright, give me some rolls. You guys have crates to haul.
Kenan, it looks like Sun's kind of made a bit of a terrible mental choice. He's kind of very focused on something else. Do you mind giving him a hand here, and then
Has he ever made a choice that wasn't a terrible mental choice?
What do you mean?
Kennedy stops for a moment and goes, "Funny enough, making explosives. Good choice."
You're not wrong.
Okay, I'm gonna do...
So the total number that you guys need is 21. There's 21 pounds worth, basically, of crates to haul onto the boat.
I'm gonna delicate this, or I'm going to grace this. I I'm not going to pick the heavy crates.
Just multiple of the tinies.
Hey, yeah. I got a 19, so like...
I got an 18.
That's just a pure brawn roll, baby.
Alright, so while Kennedy is supervising, like, identifying the serial numbers and pointing at what needs to be brought in, Bill G's sitting by the ship just to make sure. Rooker is there to help with, you know, like, putting things in the right spot. You're not sure where Tiana's gone off to, but it's very quick. You guys make quick work of just, like, Sun, you're, like, picking him up and, like, passing him over to Jane. Jane, you're just, like, hauling him long distance over to the boat. And then once you get there, Rooker just, like, starts sorting them down into different spots in the belly of the ship. Before too long, you're flushed up and you're given the instruction to basically just wait until they flag you off.
Oh, all right.
It's a good thing you guys finished so quickly, because my next thought was going to be summon a crab to do the work for me.
A crab? A crab?
Which I don't think would end very well. I'm like, well, I can't do the whole carry and walk thing, so like...
The crab grabs a knife.
Oh no! The Crabbo Stabbo is coming!
Not Crabbo Stabbo!
No,
So I'm gonna turn to everybody and be like, does anybody actually know how those cereal things work? I feel like maybe we're gonna need to know this.
Yeah, no, I got distracted. I know how they work.
Are you sure?
Oh yeah, no, they're real easy, you know, nothing to them.
can you double check his numbers on that?
Kennedy just kind of, like, quietly leans over to Crowquill and is like, he hasn't been doing the numbers. I've been doing the numbers. Tiana checks my numbers.
Tiana, can you check Ken and Ye's numbers?
Already doing it. So, yeah, you guys load all these up. You seal the hatch, and you're just kind of waiting. The instructor, like, clambers on, mostly just for supervision and oversight for your first run, and you guys are waiting for the flag to go off. After sitting there shooting the shit, like, you know, like, throwing a couple of jabs at each other as you're waiting, you can see at the end of the pier, there's a rooker which pulls a lever, and there's, like, a set of flags at the end of each dock that flip, basically.
Okay.
Do you want to pull up the map?
Map. We are nowhere near our destination, I don't think. Or we're nowhere near our current situation.
No, you're looking, let me grab the map chunks myself. I believe it's 1 south.
I will be right back.
I think we have to go 1 west, actually. Or do we have to go 1 south?
The map chunk is I-9.
Okay. We had to go 1 west and 1 south.
Ooh.
Fancy.
Yeah. Okay, I-9. Where the hell is I-9? There it is. And are we at the square or the triangle?
You're at the square. The triangles are the places you're going to need to leave. Your route is... Well, I'll wait for Chelsea to get back for the details about your route, but for now, you're unfurling the sails, making your way out to the bay. You can see all the ships, like, turning and doing different routes, like turning off. You can see that you're actually the only, like, mail carrier ship. There's a few other ones that seem to be just doing straight shots either directly towards the other town, far to the south, or far to the north, or far to the east. A lot of them are just loaded up with big crates, the kind that are brought up, like, on winches to go to different centers. You're the only ones on the local delivery route right now.
Cool.
The wind is moving to the north, like kind of towards the northeast, out towards the Dragon Isles. Your first, like, checkpoint you have to get to is the Western Isle pickup.
And I know you were waiting for Chelsea, but where is that exactly?
Good question. of all of the... It's all triangles. All your stops are triangles. You vary between the villages and the towns by official map designation. Which one of these would you describe as Western Isle?
Well, there's an island there. Somewhat westerly. At least comparative to the main isle there.
So,
that one.
Jane, you come back while everyone else is poring over the maps. They're talking, going like, okay, which one's Western Isle? You need to go from the squares to the triangles. Not like one by one, just like you start at the square and you're going to the triangles. The next triangle you need to get to is called Western Isle.
Which I'm assuming is this? Because, you know, it seems fairly westerly and also an isle. Is each one of these the ones that we need to go to, or do we need to go to one in, like, the next tile over or something like that?
So there's the Western Isle, the Dragon Isle, the Northern Isle, and the mainland pickup locations.
Okay, so perhaps the Western Isle is in fact not I6, but is in, or not I9, is in fact in, where is it? H9, with this much larger, more westerly isle.
I don't know. Seems
Chelsea,
almost too easy.
Chelsea, I think you're muted.
We need a map.
We have the map. We need a map
Is
with
it
names.
labeled?
Yeah, we need a map with names.
Alright, so you guys are awkwardly like a couple of people on the table trying to check indexes going, what? And then the instructor comes down and goes, to be fair, this is bullshit. When you go in and you find your itinerary, if you want to talk to your rookers, double check things over in case there's any ambiguity, check with them. The Western Isle, any points, the one that was, if anything, you would describe as an Eastern Isle, but it's on the western side of the bay, which is why it's called that.
Hey.
Oh, so it's back in. It's back in I9.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that little, not the little thing, right? Yeah.
It doesn't even. There isn't even a town there.
Yeah, there isn't even a town there.
What little thing?
This little
Maybe
dragon claw thing.
Maybe go down one.
Triangles. You're looking for triangles.
I know we're looking for triangles. But I'm looking at the big map for an island, or I'm looking at the overview map for
Yeah, go down
island
one.
in a bay, and I'm like, I don't know. Is that an
Yeah,
island in the bay?
So that one. That one seems pretty easterly, but is west of the other thing.
But there's another square down there. Would it be in your route?
I don't know. Well, would it? We don't even know.
I'm gonna just ask the instructor. Where are these islands?
All right, hold on. And he like gestures towards like Sun and is like, "Can you pass me I9 again? You had it. You missed it a couple times."
Yeah. And I pass him the big old I9 map.
And the guy holds both I9 and I10 next to each other, and you go, "You gotta watch it sometimes because these are like 4 navigations. So half the time, useful islands just kind of get cut off on the bottom there."
What? Well, that seems sloppy. It seems like whoever implemented this system didn't do a very good job.
Well, that's a theological question, not a cartographical one.
Theological.
Cartographer's about telling you where things are. Cartographer doesn't choose where they are.
So it's this one because some land is getting cut off because image dump.
Yeah, I always have a hate dealing with those. The rest of them are up there. So after Western Isle, you want to go Dragon, then Northern, then Mainland.
Okay.
So which way are you guys sailing?
Okay, so I'm gonna guess. Here's my guess. That southern one, western. Eastern one is dragon. That island. I'm guessing we're staying on I-9, right?
Mm.
Okay. Got it. Man. Yeah, so there's only 3 squares, 3 triangles here. So those are the 3 triangles we need to go to.
That makes sense to me.
But in what order? Do we have to do it in a particular order, or do we...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, so western is directly east of us. And then we go northeast for dragon. And then we go west, directly west of that for northern isle. And then directly south of that for mainland. Mainland, quote unquote.
Big Isle.
Big, yeah.
Which is west of Bigger Isle.
Yeah.
Alright, so you start setting sail easterly. You catch a bit of wind. About a half hour passes as you're making your way out into the water. About half a square. About an hour in, you've made it the other half square. So now it's like a little bit past 10 p.m. It's getting closer to midnight. And you can see the rookery kind of dock area as you like get close and sail along the port to identify like what your actual pier is. You can see emblazoned on it, it says Western Isle Rookery Station. And so sure enough, you come down there and there's rookers waiting to receive the crates that are designated for them.
Oh yeah, man, we're so good at this.
Man.
I'm killing it. I have knocked so much stuff off of my table.
That's what it's there for.
Would you be careful about how you're spending your energy, or would you push to get through the shift?
Don't do anything halfway.
Jane would pace herself. I think Sun definitely wouldn't.
Yeah.
I feel like Crocodile definitely would pace herself.
Sun, do you want to give me a difficulty 25 roll of some kind?
Sure.
That's you managing the delivery?
That's brawn for me, because I'm lifting things real good. And Papa needs a new pair of spine. Oh no. Oh no, beans.
Like me every day.
That's a 22. I lose 3 points of spine damage.
Me every day.
I suppose.
It's weird being like in a chat where it's like everybody has at least mild back pain to like actually really fucked up lifelong like medical bullshit. So it's like everyone here is like, man, my spine, and then people being like, same.
Mike, you call that breaking my spine? You couldn't break a spine of, oh god, my spine!
So you haul the crates off, and you are given your return crates.
Cool.
Cool.
What's in them?
Put those in the back.
You don't check. We don't check. We don't.
That's lame.
All right, northeast.
All right, from there, you guys are sailing up towards the northeast. By now, it's a little bit past midnight. The wind has shifted to move to the southwesterly, so directly opposing you.
Really?
As always.
Really, Will? Southwesterly, you say, in the exact opposite direction of where we're heading. Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I realize you're suspicious, but please understand, if the dice
I'm
are
not
being cruel
suspicious,
to you,
I'm just...
I am. Like, you can say it's sus. It's not going to change the number.
Yeah.
It could be a sus number, but it's a sus number you got to deal with.
I think God is personally against us.
Yeah.
Oh, you're bringing out the theological guns.
See, you didn't say anything when the wind was literally directly for you. Last roll.
Yeah, because it was for us. Well, I don't...
For us.
Why? Yeah, that was a good thing.
Negative reinforcement, Will. Have you heard of it?
So, you guys make it the generous part of halfway across the bay. It is a little bit past midnight in the dead of night, like the late evening. Things are really like the moon is high. There's kind of a mist starting to develop on the water.
Nice.
The sun has fallen far away enough that this is the darkest part of the night.
Okay.
How do you guys see on the ship?
Lights, I suppose.
Fucking
We navigate. Okay, we navigate by the stars, and there's got to be lighthouses, eh? And then we have like a light out front of the ship in case there's something that we're about to smash into.
I mean,
All right.
yeah.
So you guys are trying to like avoid too much use of your of losing your night vision. You're trying to see off into the distance if you can to try and like sight it in the dark.
Yeah, and then we have running lights. Like you got a lantern up on the up on the bow and the stern, so other ships know where you are, so they don't slam into you. Like, I feel like that's got to be just what you do. What's done? What's proper?
The wind starts to shift directly eastward.
Ooh.
We just get a big floodlight and put it on the front of the ship.
Okay.
You do have Otto, who probably has a flashlight function.
Oh yeah.
Probably not powerful enough to help us see.
Otto hears you say that, and Sun hears you say that, and we stare at you, waiting for the apology.
I don't think Otto cares.
It doesn't
much.
come.
Well, you know what? Some people just don't appreciate art.
So you are coming up to the Dragon Isle. The isle that you were at prior is like a number of these sea isles. It's big. There's kind of a central lump to it. It's all jungly. There's bits of outcropping. The Dragon Isle in particular has a large central peak, and you're aware that on the far side it kind of goes out and lowers into distant like plains and out into like a bay on the far side of the island. This one, however, is kind of sharper, like rising waves of terrain. There's a bunch of like jungle trees on different bits of outcropping, but mostly these are small villages dug into the little bits of like beach and outcropping that are there. The village is ahead of you. You slow up on the port side, which is why it's called that. You're like going the way that all the ships go along the port, waiting for your pier, and then you pull in, slow up. The turn itself bleeds off a lot of your speed. You toss some ropes over. Sure enough, emblazoned onto it, you see Dragon Isle pickup. It's your next one.
Cool. I always wondered why it was called port side.
And then starboard would be like the side you steer to when you start to leave port.
Like Starbound, but word.
Yeah, like Starbound, but word. Very
you
good.
Don't
Gabe.
get to be in.
I'm gonna give you a gold star.
Thanks. Will. I love you.
Honestly, same though, bro. All right, you guys. Somebody else want to give me a roll? Are you pushing through, or are you saving your energy?
Pushing through.
All right, another 25.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. I can do this. Watch, this one be a 25. This one's not a 25. This one is an 18.
All right, so you're in debt a little, about 7. But you haul the crates, and sure enough, it's about 2 a.m. when you leave this port.
Okay.
Where to next? The wind is starting to shift. It moves
East.
southeast. Yeah. Sorry, southwest.
Oh.
Oh.
All right, we're going west.
Going west.
Are we winning, Will?
Just barely. It's almost 4 a.m. when you're starting to, you go the long way through the bay again. You're catching the wind, and things start to get a little bit tumultuous as you pull into port. This one, sure enough, is labeled the Northern Isle pickup, the one you're supposed to go to. So you start unloading the crates. By now, it's getting close to dawn. Close to almost 6 a.m.-ish.
Okay.
Are you guys going to push or try to save your energy?
One more push. I'm taking 10 I keep failing, but I know I can. I know I can do it.
I'm gonna save energy. Jane's gonna start complaining about being tired.
No! I'm 23! Come on!
Crocool's gonna join you in that sentiment. We're both complaining about being a little bit tired.
No,
although Crocool is clearly really enjoying the nighttime running.
Yeah, no, Jane is totally too. Like, we're both having a great time. We're like almost like in a fake way complaining about being tired.
Yeah.
No, come on, man. You want to be rookers or what? You gotta do long hours if you want to be in this business.
We're sitting around at brunch having a glass of wine complaining about our troubles.
Yeah. That's exactly the vibe.
That's what the wealthy do.
So you take this one's return crate, you set it aside with the first and the second one. The last stop to go to is mainland before you go to the village return. The wind is going directly northward.
So.
Alright. You sit there and kind of chop against the wind, you tack back and forth, but you're between an island and the mainland, and it starts to get kind of inconsistent, but in direction and intensity, so you can work with it. It kind of keeps you going at more or less like a kind of iffy speed. You settle into like the mainland village along the port side. You're watching and you see the dock, and you go into the pier, throw off the ropes again, and toss them over the crate. Get another roll here.
I'll row it.
I feel like even before we get into the dock, while Jane and I are having our wine mom moment, Crocool's just gonna be like, do you ever think about when you're not gonna be on the bilge water?
No.
Well, I mean, I suppose I'd have to take the bolts off of Otto and find some way to move him off of here. And
yeah, but like, we've gotten a lot of heat on us, don't you think?
I don't think so.
How you mean?
Well, I mean,
we'll just rename the ship. Give an upgrade. You know, paint it pink.
Yeah, but that doesn't really always work. And I mean,
pick a new name.
And I mean, a couple of months ago, we took a job with the Rookery and we sank a couple of Imperial ships, and then went south for a little while and sank a couple of Imperial ships, and then we
were on vacation.
Almost got attacked by a couple of Imperials, and then we sank some Imperial ships, and then we came all the way out here and sank some Imperial ships. All I'm saying is we've cost them a lot of money, and I don't think a name change is really gonna do a whole lot. I think we have actual, heat on us.
Tiana kind of leans in and goes, well, counterpoint. We've gotten away with it that many times. I don't think they can figure out who we are.
I mean, yeah, sure enough. I don't think they want to admit that a tiny ship like ours, is taking down, warships, but
And if you think about it, we're really good at sinking Imperial ships.
Yeah. I mean we are really effective at sinking Imperial ships, but it just makes me more concerned. Our effectiveness seems like it would cause some concern on their part.
Right.
Rooker, at this point, Rooker is kind of grinding around down below, just nestling into a chair going, well, it did. Look at all those blockades. And we dealt with it. I know you're afraid of consequences, but those are the consequences.
I mean, it's not that I'm afraid of consequences, it's that I'm afraid of the heat, you know? We get into a scrap, but
yeah.
Being hunted isn't exactly something I'm okay with.
Well, I think you picked the wrong line of work, friend.
You say as we're delivering mail?
Yeah, at that point I feel like we've gotten into the dock and Son's just well, you've gotten into the wrong line of work as he's passing boxes in a line.
Well, no, I mean this is good work, and you can always just hide in the Rookery system. I mean, No one's gonna be able to find you if you're, dressed in robes and whatnot. But I don't know. I mean, personally, I'm working on this boat because we get to sink a lot of Imperial ships. Like, I don't really see your
Shane's
flaw.
like, yeah. Have you thought about that aspect?
I'm not against it. Certainly not against it. But like, I mean, what just happens when, like, if they do sink us?
Get another
You
ship.
die.
Oh.
Well,
I suppose, yeah, we
let's
might be
say
dead.
even more, for the sake of argument, that we're inland when something happens.
Okay.
We're all alive. We're inland.
Yeah.
What the hell do we do? I
Get a
can't
new
afford
ship.
another ship.
Yeah, we'll steal it
Donkey
off
just
someone.
kind of winces and goes, "That's a good point. The only thing I trust less than the sea is the land."
What are you
Look,
you're figuring out how to fly? I don't know. Listen, you can't keep thinking about if, whens, or buts. You gotta weigh the risks and you gotta make informed decisions.
Well,
All right.
You hear a
me and
thunk
you,
thunk along the side of the hull.
Crowquill, me and you, we have a lot of experience raiding homes. We could easily take a ship. No problem. You know? If we needed another ship, we'd be able to find one.
I guess, but same problem, right? Are we just gonna... Do we just live our lives with this same looming over us?
Well, that's why I just don't do crimes, And then I don't gotta worry about the consequences.
I mean, fair enough.
Because of the content of this campaign, every time Sun says that, it gets so much funnier because, like...
Yeah!
The first time you say it, you've done, like, before the campaign in vague backstory, like 50 crimes. And then the next time it's 62. And then the next time it's 73. Like,
Yeah.
I don't do crimes.
I don't do crimes. I do policey no likeys.
I don't do any crimes, alright? I've already done them, which means from now on they're just counts, which aren't the same as crimes.
Yeah.
So you guys set sail. You're tired, especially like Sun. You've been busting ass a little bit, but you have some time ahead of you. It's near the end of like the 6 a.m. chunk. The wind shifts to a distinctive westerly, which isn't good for you, it isn't bad for you. It's just like from the island out into the bay. And with the short distance that you have available, you very quickly sail in. You have a bunch of crates to unload.
Oh boy.
As a party, the number you have to deal with is 19.
Alright.
Well, you go consider your next career an accountant or whatever, and I'll get these crates unloaded.
Oh, no, I'm terrible with money. I don't know what the hell you think I'd be doing.
I got 22.
You quickly just kind of like thunk them on down. The rookers take them for like into the sorting room to be appropriately set and like cracked open. At
And
this point, the instructor gets off and stretches a bit, goes, "Alright, well, those were my runs. Remind me, which one did you guys sign up for next? Was it the Sunshine or the Business? I know you got it 2 of them, but..."
business.
It's not like tomorrow, is it? Like, we're not starting right now.
If it's the Sunshine, it's like the day after tomorrow. If it's the Business, like, go to bed.
Oh, sunshine. Then sunshine.
Probably.
I changed my mind. I changed my vote.
Probably sunshine, yeah.
Oh, I've worked
So we can go to
those
sleep
shifts.
and get it like a day.
A nearby rooker passes the guy a clipboard and he starts to flip through it and goes, "Well, you bet it on red, you got red. Sunshine, it looks like. See you then."
Man.
So you guys are docked at the rookery port after your unload. Still wearing your robes, still like with the rookery sails. With SS incognito mode on the side.
So, Crowquill, what are you gonna do if you, don't feel like bringing down Imperial ships all the time?
I mean, I don't know. I don't really feel like I can exist in the Empire. And my only marketable trait is the fact that I can kick anyone's ass with magic.
There's lots of adventuring things you could do.
Have you considered crime?
Have you considered crime?
I feel like that's sort of what's led to the issue.
Right. Well, what about go to crime at the Freedlands? You know, or not? Maybe not crime at the Freedlands. Maybe just become a writer, become an author.
I can't see. I couldn't. I would have to dictate to someone, and that's extra money. And besides, I've never read a book in my life.
But you've been through plenty of stories.
I mean, sure. I have plenty of stories, none of which I think would make for a very interesting book.
Or a very interesting book, but you'd probably have to change your name.
A large ship with 3 master, it looks like, is kind of like it's made a couple of passes by the Rookery Bay, which is currently full.
Does it look like an Imperial ship?
Should we leave until our ship, our ships like turn, basically?
Yeah.
Yeah, we should probably get out of the Rookery spot.
Yeah. The parking.
Just the normal parking, I guess.
Well, if we're waiting for the Rookery spot and it's not our time yet, why don't we just moor?
No, we're done. We're done with the Rookery spot.
Oh, no, you're so right.
Yeah, we just need to find, like, a new spot, like, in town, I guess.
You could also just throw your ranker out and, like, stay in the middle of the bay.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. I mean, unless stuff you folks want to do.
I mean, there's always the bent anchor.
There's always the bent anchor.
It's the main attraction of this town, really.
There's a spot open right next to the thirsty sign.
Well,
let's go there.
All right, you friends, wet your whistles or whatever it is they say, and I'll do some my job, my skilled labor that I'm going to be able to fall back on if any of this goes south.
You say that to me and Croakwill.
Croakwill,
go
into town and make money right now.
Do you guys have a craft that is somewhat legal?
I mean, mine is perfectly legal. It's just my craft is just lying to people and they give me money.
That's not illegal.
It's not illegal.
It's not skilled labor though.
Sure it is.
I think I'm quite skilled.
Did you do an apprenticeship? You know, like
Croakwill has experience.
Yeah, the world was experience. Like Croakwill just kind of gives you a look of just like, I have been doing this my entire fucking life.
Yeah, but that
like she doesn't need an apprenticeship. Like, you're asking someone who's been boosting cars since they were a kid if they know how cars work a little bit.
Well, the person who's been boosting cars since they were a kid is asking, what am I gonna do when I can't boost cars anymore?
Like a person who boosted cars until they were a kid and then became a mechanic. Like
cars are now.
I think your mechanic might be scamming you.
I
never said I was an honest mechanic.
I'm like, moving things from point A to point B is a legal thing. And I'm very good at it.
That's true.
Transportation of goods.
You slowly moor into the pier in front of the bent anchor.
Transportation of goods is important. Importing and exporting goods is important.
Well, then there's the answer. If
tie gangplank.
Well, if we lose our ship, then I guess you all just become either ship hands or I don't know, a hooligan. I don't know what the.
Where the money's at anyway. I'd probably continue doing that.
You crack open the door. There's a sign for Battle Axe Brunch. Looks like it's on. But you're a bit early for it, anyways. Like they're just kind of like getting the chairs off of the tables, but they're open.
Well, never used one of those. Wonder.
A chair?
No, a battle axe, wise guy.
I'm picturing Son like Captain Morganing every time he sees a chair. He has never sat in a chair or a stool or anything of the like. He just Captain Morgans wherever he goes.
Yeah, that takes a finger, pops like a Slav squat, like whoop, by the side of the table.
Man,
it's good for the prostate. Don't judge.
I hate like that particular one. I don't want to work that one out. You know.
Son, are you planning on having kids?
Hey?
Son, are you planning on having kids?
I have Otto.
Ah.
Yeah, and unless Otto can get pregnant, I don't think Son's gonna have any actual kids anytime soon.
I feel like you're mischaracterizing our relationship.
I don't
appreciate that.
I feel like you have an unhealthy relationship.
With a robot? Come on. Impossible.
You have like the best spot. You're right by the door. So through the window, you can see like your ship's moored up. Like Rooker's just kind of sitting there, watching those ships go by at the edge of the docks. And Otto like is cycling cannons at a passing seagull, and going like, "Hey."
I love that little bot.
Yeah, but see that's like me saying I love this chair. It doesn't make sense. Even if I were to make this chair, I don't give a fuck about this chair.
Probably because you never made a chair before?
No.
I rest my case.
But
Woman
it's a
comes
chair.
up to you guys, like with a couple of menus, slaps them down on the table. You can hear like a leathery clap, one by one. She kind of like straightens up. She's wearing like a bunch of like plaid with like some denim cutoffs. Goes, "All right, hey, welcome to the Bent Anchor. We got Battle Axe Brunch specials going on. What can I get you?"
What's in the Battle Axe Brunch special again?
Well, let's see. We got the A side and the B side. A side is... I never thought about that. I think they actually just kept these items from when it used to be like a record-themed thing. Anyways. Yeah, so, you got your classic, 7 sausages, 8 slices of pea meal bacon, 3 slices of regular bacon, and 1 egg. And you got the lipstick version, which is 2 eggs.
Just 2 eggs, or the same thing, but instead of
just
1?
2 eggs.
Oh, just 2 eggs. Okay.
Two eggs.
I'll get the first one, please.
Crocodle's gonna order the same thing that she's been ordering every single fucking time we've been here, which is the only thing she finds appetizing on the menu: a salad.
Which is
People's and dice. Yeah, I'll have Can I just get like a baked bacon and an egg?
all right. How many of each? How many bacons? How many eggs?
Can I get 3 bacons and 2 eggs?
3 bacon, 2 eggs. All right, get those served up for you. She wanders off towards the kitchens.
And,
Guys, do you feel it's a little bit sexist for them to have the lipstick version that's just 2 eggs?
No, why would that be sexist? Women don't like eggs.
Jake's gonna look at you like, what?
Crowquill's just confused.
Well, the first one's like a whole bunch of sausage.
Yeah.
Like a really protein-rich meal. And the second one, the lipstick version, is just 2 eggs.
Yeah, well, men tend to like eggs more than women do, I guess.
Another couple sits across the restaurant from you. It's like a narrow, long restaurant with an L shape in it. It's a weird shaped building. So they're pretty close, but they're on the other side. So it's you, aisle, them, window.
Well, I mean, did they say which way the eggs were cooked? Did that matter?
Maybe that's maybe
How
they
does it
got.
make any sense that men like eggs more than women if the women version has more eggs in it?
Well, how much do you like eggs?
I like eggs.
So I rest my case.
So the server comes back to take the other people's order. Just gives you a quick like, everybody good? Still waiting on food with the kitchens, but you good? And then heads back. You look over, and a little while later she comes back. She comes to, like, she has enough for everyone's tables, so she passes the battle axe to Jane. You sit there, and there is like you know how like diners will have a dinner plate that's like 1.5 times the size of an actual dinner plate? Mm-hmm. There's one egg, and then it's like pea meal bacon, regular bacon, sausage, just like the holy trinity around a single thing that isn't meat. What was I gonna say? There's salad plonked down right in front of Croquill. There's 2 eggs, 3 slices of bacon for Sun, and she moves over, and you can see that there's just like one person sitting there, like a mouse folk, kind of like kicking feet up off the edge of the table with like 2 little eggs being served up.
Do you guys ever feel like, I'm saying this, like I'm looking down at this plate of just pure protein.
Yeah.
I haven't even touched it yet. I'm like, do you guys ever feel like this protein thing for men has really gotten out of control? Like, you don't need this much protein, you know? Nobody does.
And Croquill, as taking like a bite of salad, like it's just like, yeah, no one really needs that much. Like eating the exact opposite.
The door whacks open, and you see like a red Torg woman just kind of like crunch underneath the door, stretch out a little. She's dressed in full like loud gold and all sorts of like pirate queen regalia. She's barely able to make it through the aisles, and you're sorry I'm late. And she sits down opposite the mouse folk, and you see the last plate put down, and she goes and starts shoveling all the bacon in her mouth.
Now that's a woman who needs this kind of protein.
Yeah,
you know?
Well,
reminds me of strawberry jam.
Human men don't need this much protein.
Yeah, well, less said about human men, the better.
Do you think she's of the Strawberry Clan?
The hell is that?
I'd like to think that
Croquill just goes and takes out and flips up a little thing that says Senior Wagon Inspector. Last incident with the Strawberry Clan, very notorious.
That was this campaign.
Was this campaign?
Oh yeah, well you got Croquill. You've been complaining you're not going to have nothing to fall back on, but you got your whole wagon inspection career ahead of you.
I really like that session, actually. Like, that was the most ridiculous session ever, and I'm really happy about it.
There's a lot of different ways as a GM to prep a session, and there's a method that I've been using as a fallback, because I find there's sessions like these where it's like, this one is meant to be a de-stress session, right? But like, you gotta have an agenda as a GM going in. So it's like, usually it's like, okay, is this a environment? Which usually that's like the sort of thing where it's like, these players are already bought in. You can only do this with players who have bought in. They're like, okay, I bought into the environment, so you could just drop them a place and let them do shit. So like with a lot of campaigns, those are the city sessions. It's like, you made it to the great city of something something, buy magic items, right?
Yeah.
And then you got like challenge episodes where it's like, okay, this is the specific monsters you need to defeat. And then you've got premise episodes, which is almost more like the opener to a comedy bit, where it's like, okay, so there's blah. And like, that was one of the premise episodes where literally my agenda going in was, so there's this dude who won't move his goddamn wagon for anyone but a presidential order.
No, you didn't even move it for a presidential order. We literally had. Like,
we literally had to like pretend to shoot at the president to get him to move his wagon.
Oh, good times.
Good
great,
stuff.
Great. But yeah, I was just like, you say that to me, and I'm just like, I'm not a wagon inspector.
Well, why?
I don't know. When we were in that situation with that guy in the wagon, you pulled off the wagon inspector. I think you could do it.
That's because I kick ass. I don't actually want to have to learn all of the rules of wagon inspection.
You don't have to.
No, I don't want to be a negative person here, but you would have to learn a fair bit about.
Nah, you just make up some shit as you're doing it. You know, look at the wagon. I don't know. The width of these wheels look a little bit over standard.
And then again, I look at you and just go, yeah, let me just look at the wheels.
Exactly. You just look. I'm making shit up. You can make shit up. You know.
You guys get the bills. 1 silver for the big plate. 5 coppers for both of the other meals.
Well,
Jane, what's your health at?
So the last thing that I've written down is 61. I don't know if that's recent.
Jane is running ragged.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the assumption that you lack self-care.
Fucking sounds good, you know?
What gives you that assumption that us millennial characters wouldn't make characters that have self-care? What
Alright,
gives
so-
you that assumption? Millennials are totally capable of self-care.
Yeah.
So Jane, you're sitting there like after eating literally the entire fucking plate, and you're walking back to the boat, and you're like, for real though, like human men do not need to eat this much meat, and you heal 25 stamina, which you desperately need.
Good stuff.
So what are you guys gonna do? Are you gonna get some kind of rest? What's the plan?
Yeah, I feel like at this point, Kroko's kind of gotten enough rest or enough like daytime existence that like sleeping wouldn't totally fuck the sleep schedule up.
Daytime existence, hi. That's my daytime existence.
It is wild how it can be like 5 a.m. with insomnia, and you're like, it's still nighttime, but the second that like a single morning thing has happened, you're like, now I can sleep. It's been a new day. Now I can sleep.
Yep.
I've only stayed up all night a couple of times. And every time you get to morning. It's like 6 or 7 a.m. and you're like, man, life is good. Stayed up all night. Man, playing, I don't know, whatever.
Fallout 76.
Fallout 76.
Yeah. Oh no,
then
not
it
worth
hits like noon and you're like, I want to die. I want to be dead right now.
It's only been like once or twice where I've actually like done an all-nighter deliberately of my own will. Maybe once where it hasn't been because it was like travel related, but the rest of the time it's genuinely just like, oh, I have insomnia. Oh, now it's morning.
The last time I did an all-nighter of my own volition was, I want to say something like 2017 when Mass Effect Andromeda came out. That was the last time.
I don't even remember the last time I did an all-nighter.
I don't do all-nighters very often. I love my sleep.
I don't either.
When I pulled an all-nighter.
I remember I used to do it sometimes as a kid. Like, as a child.
Oh, yeah.
I do remember one time staying up all night playing, like, Star Fox or whatever.
Yeah.
But, like, I haven't done it recently. Because you get to, like, 3 or 4 in the morning and you're like, fuck this.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, when you're pulling an all-nighter, like, 3 or 4 is the line where it's like, I'm not working. I'm not, like, doing anything of entertainment value that I can actually complete. This is just about getting to 6 a.m.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Well, speaking of, it is about 6 a.m. You guys have stumbled out of the bent anchor, and you guys need to get some sleep before, technically, the business load, the flag goes down. Or no, you said Sunshine Run, right?
Sunshine.
Okay, so the flag goes down at 6 a.m. tomorrow.
So when you say stumbled, I always imagine like a cartoonish drunkard stumbling out of like like the dramatic like pushing the things open and falling over. Like
Yeah.
That's always what I imagine to the word stumbled.
Oh yeah, every single time you leave this bar, like 6 seagulls take off in panic.
Yeah. And it works very well considering that we have to, like, go down a ladder in order to, like, properly get into the village water.
Yeah.
And so it's just kind of like Rutger's there doing a little bit of brekkie cooking, and it's just like...
Brekkie cooking, eh?
Yeah, a little bit of brekkie cooking.
Is that what we settled on as a species?
It's brekkie cooking.
Go brekkie cooking.
Am I the only human on this ship? No, Tiana's human, right?
Tiana and... Yeah, well, Tiana's dwarfborn, Kenninye's elfborn.
Oh, so I am the only human on this ship.
Yeah.
That's racist to say.
Actually, yes, it would be. The non-racist way to say it would be that Kenninye, Tiana... Well, the more racist way to say it is that it goes Kenninye, Tiana, Jane, because she's pure human and she doesn't have the, like, awesome before the apocalypse blood. The less racist way of saying it is that everyone's human, including Sun and Croakwill.
Human, though. Like, you know.
Yeah.
I feel like if Jane genuinely were having this discussion, she would have the, human.
Absolutely, she would. Like, she's grown up from like a super racist background, and like that sort of thing is the kind of thing that would absolutely slip out without her even thinking of.
Yeah.
Jane's the kind of person who needs to be explained why it's not okay to say all lives matter at least once.
Yeah.
Like, willing to sit there and go, oh, okay, so this is about police targeting. I didn't realize, but, like, definitely posted something.
Yeah. Absolutely. Like, posted on Facebook, like, man, our police are important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, it is between 6 and 8 a.m. Is anybody staying up late in, like, overnight shift terms, or is everybody going to bed as soon as
James,
possible?
Hell no. I'm giving Warbles some morning feed, and I'm going to sleep.
Yeah, I'm gonna go, maybe talk to Otto for a little bit, But, yeah, I'm going to bed.
So you kind of, like, stumble into the munitions room. You look at the ladder for a second, decide against it, and just walk in, and Otto swivels down underneath and goes, oh, hey, boss.
Hey, Otto. How's it doing? How's it going? You're not terrorizing any seagulls, are you?
Yep, my barrels are well lubricated. The seagulls have not been splattered.
Excellent. That's what I like to hear. You don't got any battery juice left, do you? That was the last one, eh?
For the most part. I mean, I got the usual 80 years, but I want to keep those, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Well, I'll get you. I'll get you another battery next chance we get once we get paid for this gig. And oh man, I just wanted to say I'm real proud of you.
I don't know how to react to that.
You really saved our asses back there, and I couldn't have asked for a better gun.
If Croakle hadn't jumped into bed, she would have jumped up on this.
So Otto kind of like looks from side to side, swivels the head a bit, and goes, you have maintained me at 97% efficiency, and then swivels back to the decks.
He always knows just what to say. When I head off to bed.
Alright, who wakes up first?
Not Croakle.
Probably not. Jane will wake up like second or third.
I'll wake up. I'll do it.
Alright, so you... Odds or evens?
Evens, baby!
Yeah, well,
that's a 5! Oh my god!
I kind of need to heal from that one. And also from the food, if I can.
Yeah, the food, you just got a basic breakfast, so you heal the 5 you paid for.
Okay.
For the sleep, are you comfortable? Do you feel safe?
As safe as I can feel with Sun on the same boat.
Now, I may be reckless, but I'm very thorough.
So you heal 13 plus the 5 from the food.
Yeah, check me too. I'm under 100.
All right.
It's good to know that if you were to blow us up, you would be thorough and there wouldn't be any survivors.
Okay.
So yeah, 7 for Jane.
I feel like you twisted my words a bit there, friend.
Out of curiosity, Son, what's your health like?
My health, I'm at a healthy 124.
And what's your hurt tired threshold?
My hurt tired threshold is 60, and my tired ready threshold is 120.
Okay, so like, you're just kind of like, well, another day's work.
Yep.
And you're at like double everyone else's health. You creak out of bed, just to keep watch throughout the day. Bilgy was staying up, and now Bilgy's going off for a nap. And you're the first up, actually. It is currently about... What was I going to say?
Dinner time-ish.
Well, you went to bed at like 8 a.m.
Yeah.
So right now it's like... You kind of half woke up at 10, decided against it, and now it's like 12:30.
Not very much sleep then. I mean, I guess we'd be kind of used to getting 5 or 6 hours of sleep a night.
Yeah.
At this point, it's one of those things where, like, because you're awkwardly shifting your sleep schedule, you both don't need as much sleep, but also just can't get the sleep out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, son, do you try to sleep a little longer, or do you do something?
Oh no, I'm getting right to work. I got stuff to make, but I've run into a thing here, where my sheet has decided to just absolutely shit itself. So let me.
That's not very fun.
Well, you've got all your big projects done, so it's mostly just pumping out merchandise.
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember how much merchandise I was pumping out.
Yeah, the big projects of Otto, and you tried making a gun for a little while, but then you made, something that was workable and then stopped.
Yeah, was there a big gun I was trying to make?
You were trying to mass produce guns for Soth.
I did, and I made 3 of them, and they worked very well.
Well, they worked once, that's for sure.
Yeah,
I think twice.
Yes, I will be doing a crafting roll.
And plus, the guns are mostly a distraction, right? Like we needed those big kabooms.
Yeah, it was like the goal of the guns was if you can win one fight against one guard, you can get a better gun.
Yeah.
That's the goal of the guns, and they did that. More or less, kind of. Sort of.
Yeah, that's true. You just gotta win one fight.
Yeah.
If you don't win that one fight, then I got bad news.
That is a 26. Hee-hoo.
Alright, and what are you working on?
I am making piercing rounds.
Okay, and are these like shotgun piercing?
These are it's like a slug that you would load into your shotgun, and then shotguns. It's just a smooth bore cannon. You can put pretty much anything in there. Let's take advantage of that,
Alright, so you're going for something closer to a slug design, but it's piercing, so maybe like 4 little needles that break on fire?
Yeah.
Right,
no, I remember what it was now. It's exactly that, but it has just a little bit of powder in the base, so it splits apart on impact, and then it's like point blank. Oh. And the 4 things split. It's like,
Maximum damage sort of thing?
Yeah, just to really drive the point home. Haha, people die.
Alright, so you are working on... What's the product name for this? Kennedy and Sons, Kennedy
and Sons 2-stage piercing rounds. This is why Canonier gets to name things.
Alright, so these are CNS 2 SPRs, and then Kennedy just basically picks out the shelf name. You're the person who describes the codes and all that, which is why you're usually in charge of the codes, because you're the one who decides it's a PSCR. But Kennedy goes, How many is it? 4?
The points? Yeah, the points is 4 of them.
If I call out the Triceratops, do you think anyone would know this?
No, well, I mean, I think that they give you the artistic license.
Okay, Triceratops. And you can see him working on, like, painting little filigrees on the side of all the shell casings that are, like... What was it called again? The 2-stage piercing round?
Yeah.
So it's a CNS, 2 SPR, and then in parentheses, it says Triceratops. And there's a bunch of these put down. You can see the, like... You can see the vague outline of something heavy in the middle and the powder underneath, because it's like paper outside, but there's also like a wax casing you put on the top, so it doesn't just like... You know, you don't just point the gun down and it all comes out.
Yeah, you don't want that.
I feel like Kenny Son at this point is kind of like somebody, like you know, you go to like a market and you're like selling these, and somebody's like, Kenny and Son, isn't that related to the Imperial ship bombing?
I think enough time has
we
passed
probably
that
say,
word
well,
probably has gotten around a little bit about it.
Yeah.
We proudly say, well, we can't confirm or deny.
Yeah, it's the same thing as like going to a job fair and you're like, what's Blackwater security? Alright, so you guys, like, Son, you're in the middle of making those. It's about 2 p.m., and you're feeling the next, like, wave of sleep come on. You still need a bit more time.
Well... Son's a pretty easygoing guy. If he's getting tired, you know, if his body wakes him up, he's awake. If his body tells him to go to sleep, he's probably going to go to sleep.
You can see Tiana kind of, like, getting up and clambering up as you're heading off to bed. She gives you a little nod and then goes to keep watch on the ship deck. It's about, like, 4 p.m. when everyone's awake.
Well...
4 p.m.
You guys have to leave the docks at 6 a.m. on the Flag tomorrow. I'm not gonna do this bit by bit. I'll say that by now you guys have kind of like, you're moored at the ships, you're killing time. What do you do between now and the start?
I'm gonna talk to Proquil.
I'm gonna talk to Jane then.
Whatever you're doing, I'm bugging you.
I feel like at that point I'd kind of just be like, oh, hey, yeah, you want to try something real quick?
Son, while this is happening, do you want to give me 4 crafting rolls while they just talk?
Yeah, I can do that.
Well, like...
What are we trying?
Like, I had a thought. Back when you shot that one dude out of the air, I wonder if I could help you with that in some way. Like, if there was some way for me to, like, reinforce you somehow. Because, like, obviously I can wish you luck, and that has its certain charms. It has its, you know, swaying luck is sort of, again, my shtick. But...
You could add, like, poison to the shot, is that what you mean? Adding, like, poison to the...
No, not adding poison to the shot, not adding tracking, nothing to the bullets. Like, specifically for you. Like, helping you make sure that you hit your target. Because that was an incredible shot, but I'd like to see you do it again.
Huh. Sounds like, practice and effort, Jane says, with a little bit of an eye roll.
Is there somewhere where someone could, like, fire an arrow, like, fire their crossbow and not have the entire town be alerted to this?
The ocean?
Yeah, you guys are bored out in the bay.
Yeah.
You turn 180 degrees and it's that direction.
Yeah, but, like, somewhere where we could shoot and then try and hit the same area and not have it just go... Bloop.
You would basically just need to, like, lift anchor, kill some time, like, a couple clicks down the coast.
Find a tree of some sort.
Yeah, because I'd be interested to try this.
So what exactly are you thinking of doing?
Well, Will, I was hoping to use ritual to help this.
You gotta be more specific.
Would I be able to use ritual to reinforce Chelsea? Like, specifically an enchantment on Chelsea?
The thing is, you ask me these questions like, would I hypothetically be able to maybe put a ritual on that reinforces, when the real thing with ritual is, like, you can probably do it. If you can make it up, you can probably do it, but, like, what are you doing? What's the ritual? What does it do? How does it work?
Specifically, it's a lot of just me throwing stuff at Chelsea and vague chanting before just kind of going, okay, shoot.
I'm trying it now.
Yeah.
Give her a snooze.
How's the crafting going?
Crafting is going pretty damn well, actually. I rolled.
How many boxes of ammo you got so far?
Well, I had about half a box when I started, and I just got 3 6s and a 4. So, like, man, I'm cruising along, and yeah, that brings me to, like, yeah, I got a box.
All right, so you
after that first hour.
You finished up a box. You put the top on it, and you prep another one to start filling. Meanwhile, as the pair of you are out there, Crowquill, roll me odds or evens.
Odds, forever and always. I rolled a 2.
All right, you're trying to set something up, and you're like, you're trying to figure out, like, okay, a bolt moving through the air. There's gravity. There's this wind. You try to enchant it with, like, gravity defying, and, like, Jane, as you're sitting there firing off these gravity defying bolts, it's literally just like all you did was take the 0, unlink it, and ruin all the calculations. The gravity bolts are not something you want to work with.
Not something I want to work with. Try again.
Like, if you wanted to shoot straighter, you'd have gotten a musket.
At this point, I do some vague, again, throwing of, like, ritual, like, salt and feathers at Jane, but then I just give her a boon and say, okay, shoot now. I don't actually cast any ritual.
Here, you guys keep going. I'll be right back. I desperately need a drink of water.
You guys spend a good bit of time just kind of like firing off shots, like embedding them in a nearby tree. You've moved up the coast a little ways. The wind was kind of half against you, but you only had to attack for a couple of minutes, so whatever. You moor up, you fire at some trees after kind of like wading off the edge of the ship towards the beach. Some of them you boon, some of them you don't. It's difficult trying to figure out what exactly the right ritual would be for the environment. A lot of it seems to be just luck bending, but there's got to be a better way to sort of influence things.
Yeah.
Chelsea, roll odds or evens for Jane.
Evens. I got a 1.
God damn it.
You're trying to think about how Crowquill might be useful for your sniping, and you're drawing a blank. The only thing you can think of is it doesn't matter. If you can see it, you can hit it. That's what matters.
Make something easier to see, maybe?
I could light it on fire.
I think that would actually make it harder to see. I need to see, like, its outline very clearly.
I mean, if it was dark... If it was dark, that would certainly make it easier to see.
Yeah. True, but usually when I'm shooting people, it's in the daytime.
Why don't you put... could you make...
Yes?
Why don't you make the arrow scry on the target?
What?
Yeah.
Like... What?
Okay. You take the soul of a pigeon, put it into the arrow, and then it'll fly itself, right?
The soul of a pigeon?
What, could you do like a tracking sort of thing? Like the arrow will move towards a particular object?
I'd have to cast. I'd have to cast on the object first, but I wouldn't be able to. Like, in order to know what I'm tracking against, I would have to, cast the ritual for it to go there.
Thing is, there is 100% a way to break Will's system in such a way.
Oh, I'm sure.
That he would have to give us homing arrows.
Oh, I'm sure.
We can't let him know our plan, because once he knows it,
yeah,
he will intentionally avoid it.
Yeah, once Will knows it, he's going to steer us away from it so much.
Yeah.
So I can't know the plan.
You can't know it.
No, we're just goofing. We're saying that at some point somewhere you'll say something where we can construe that into, well, if that's true, then this is true, yada yada yada, homing arrows.
I mean,
homing arrows is what we're trying to figure out how to do.
To put into perspective how much I break Will's system already, he once told me about elemental cancellation, and I've used that multiple times in multiple different campaigns to great effect, and I've never even seen the chart to know what cancels out with what.
Yeah. Huh.
The thing is, it's very... There's two ways of building a campaign, right? One of them is, okay, there's some fundamental axioms, and then when people ask me questions, I'm going to extrapolate from those. And the other method is, I'm going to have a solution for everything, which usually means it's really scripted. So with this stuff, it's basically like, I have figured out enough about how the magic works to keep it from making me personally angry looking at my own lore. So if you want to ask me questions, I'll give you answers. And if you want to use the answers to those questions to try and make magical fuckery happen, I will aid and abet that shit, you know?
Okay. I'm gonna try something. I take one of your bolts, and it's like, this is gonna require you to hit the target first, but it should make the subsequent hits easier. I hope. And I'm gonna cast a rune on the bolt that whatever the bolt connects to when it's been fired, causes it to glow.
Okay.
Alright. Croakwill, do you want to roll ritual? And
sure.
When you roll this, tell me odds or evens.
Sure.
Oh my god. The target will glow or the bolt will glow?
The target. Like, whatever is connected to the bolt will glow.
I see.
This really does feel like some programming shit.
I know, right?
Like, you fire it and like the arrow starts glowing, and you're like, no, that's not what I.
That's not what I wanted
I've
in
been
the
waiting
slightest.
like 4 years for someone to complain that. Not complain, for someone to comment that the rituals are like some programming shit, because that was the intent. It's like, okay, if you want to just cast fire in neat ways, you can do elemental. If you want bombs, you can do alchemy. If you want all these like weird abilities and like transforming shit, you can do mortal. But if you want to be like some fucking pocket dimension into pocket dimension shit, there's one skill that all the garbage goes into.
And it's my favorite. I rolled a 26, and I rolled odds, and I got a 3. So, success on that.
Success.
Alright, Jane, do you want to roll weapon?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just waiting for Gabe to come up with some ridiculous code that, that he wants me to cast as a ritual spell.
Alright. So, Jane, you fire a bolt, and this thing doesn't glow. At this point, Croakwill, your immediate thought is, I can't see it. Spell must be broken. And, Jane, you go to lean to, like, put another bolt in and reload. Like, it's a crossbow, it's got that foot hook thing, so you have to lean to the side. And as you do this, the tree you shot into, like, video game style, clips into the tree, and the tree in front almost unrenders. Like, it's like there's a hole in everything between you and the tree.
Oh no! Oh, you broke the shader! No! Oh! Oh no!
Croakwill.
Oh god! Not the shader! I hate working with shaders!
We got some shader problems.
What the hell do you mean, some shader problems? The hell's shaders?
There's a hole between me and the tree.
That... How is there a hole between... So you fired an arrow, and the arrow went through the tree to the tree behind it?
Oh no! And, I explain it as best as I possibly can.
Axiom 1, you can see the tree. Sorry, Axiom 1, you hit the tree with the magical bolt. Axiom 2, you can now see the tree. Axiom 3, when you try not to see the tree, you can still see the tree.
Oh no.
What happens if you close your eyes?
Uh-oh.
What happens if I close my eyes?
So you didn't think about it much because you were just blinking, but you close your eyes, and it's like, you know the phosphates in your eyes? Like, you see a bright light, and there's kind of like that colory, like, fadishness. Mm-hmm. There is a firm, like, phosphatey orbishness when you close your eyes that's in the direction of the tree. And normally with these things, like, you move your vision and they do that, like, worm, worm, worm in whatever direction. This one, it doesn't do it. Like, you turn, and it's like the object is there now. When you turn to, like, physically look away, it's not in your field of vision, but, like, you turn around and snap back and you see it.
Okay, so it just makes it so, like, no matter what, I can see the tree.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, if you were to fire a shot at where the hole is, do you hit the tree or the object in front of the tree, which is presumably another tree?
What happens if Crowquill fires a bolt and hits something?
What if I put my hand...
I think if Crowquill fires a bolt and hits something, Bilgy hands Rooker $20.
If I put my hand in front of the tree to block the tree, do I still, like...
The tree appears through your hand.
How long is this gonna last? Am I just forever gonna know where this tree is?
You should fade eventually. I mean, I never make my runes to really last that long. The trackers only last an hour.
Okay, so alright, well, I shoot at the tree again.
Do you try to just aim where you see it and shoot it, or do you try to, like, shoot it through something?
I, like, aim where I see, like, just shoot it normally.
There's a bit of, like, a tuft of grass as your arrow, like... You can see it slightly wobble mid-flight, but it's so close that it doesn't affect the path in any significant manner. But, like, you punch through some brush you didn't see, and it deviates the trajectory, but it still impacts the same tree.
This could be useful. I think it might be a little bit horrifying for me to shoot someone, and then they fall in the water, and then I get to watch their corpse fall to the bottom of the lake. But...
Even worse if there are sharks?
Yeah. And then is it going to be like...
There are horrifying implications.
Just the section of the corpse that the arrow had hit? Or am I going to get to see all of the sections of the corpse as they're torn to pieces?
Crowquill, you still feel the arrow.
I want to cut my connection to the arrow.
Okay, you don't need to do a check for this. It's like basic magical skills. You just, on a spell you cast and it fades. Jane, you're aiming, and you see, like, a bunch of brush shimmer between you and the tree. And you see, like, a couple of bits where, like, it, like, it punched through this leaf and then, like, shredded this bit of leaf over here, like...
You know what? Maybe you're just a good shot.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But that tree does look different. So... Yeah, I don't know. I think it's useful, but I think it's also...
this under maybe magic.
Yeah, it's got some horrifying implications of corpse pieces.
Yeah.
You know?
The sun starts to lower somewhat.
Alright, maybe we should head to bed again.
Yeah.
Well, you all get back on the ship and make your way up too. Do you guys make your way up to town, or do you just stay here?
Probably up to town. Just so we're there, you know?
Yeah, makes sense.
Wake up in the morning and go right in.
Do we still have glyphs? Are glyphs something that Gabe still has access to?
Sun doesn't have access to them, but...
No, but... If...
I mean, glyphs are still in
Theoretically?
the system, I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh no. You would have...
Glyphs is like the one ritual that's classified under elemental, which is basically you just precast a spell and then it goes off.
Yeah.
No, okay, so the problem is, I was thinking of ways to do a self-guiding arrow with a bunch of glyphs all down it, and the glyph's condition is, if setting this glyph off would steer the arrow more in the direction of the target, then go off. But the problem is, you'd have to know what your target is.
Exactly, that's exactly what I
when
was
you
thinking.
set
It was
every
just
single glyph.
Gabe, isn't that why the bowings point down? Isn't that the specific? Yeah, isn't that the specific programming reason that, like, I think it's like the 7-3-7.
Oh, yeah.
They keep having the same glitch where they like just start aggressively pulling down, and it's like reactive steering column, so it specifically like max resists the pilot pulling up.
Yeah.
I think that is a sensor error.
Yeah,
where
that sounds
it thinks
about right.
it thinks that it should be pulling down, like it thinks that the nose is pointing up when it's not.
What if you set up a ritual that acted like a sensor?
Yeah, but
I love
that would
more
be
that we
fine.
learn about like trying to set up autopilot, the more that we're like, okay, autopilot is way better than you think it is, but you still need to pilot.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah.
you don't need to know how to drive, but you have to hold the steering column. You can't.
Yeah.
Shit. Like, you might
Yeah.
be someone who's never steered a car before in your life, but the computer can't tell that there's a kid there.
Well, that's actually one of the big sort of hurdles with self-driving cars, is that the one approach is just to keep adding safety features until the safety features take over, and that's the worst way possible to do it. Because if you do it that way, you're still expecting a human being to be like pay attention for 3 hours on the highway, not doing anything.
I feel like that's one of those situations where the inevitable bug is like, it's a Canadian winter, you like pre-start your car before you get into it, like a few minutes before, and like as you pre-start your car and turn over to grab your toast, it like accelerates through your garage door.
Yeah.
Like, that seems like the kind of error that comes from putting way too many, like, oh, well, if this, then this, if this, then that. Like, your Tesla would be like, I'm parked facing the garage, and then it goes, there's a garage a meter from me, and then it goes, it's not a child, I have to hit it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, well, that's the problem with using if statements. You gotta replace them with switch statements.
Yeah.
You need if else's.
Yeah.
We have a
Man.
weird show.
Hey, weird tangent, but I've gotten really into returning functions to just stop them.
I do like the moment in the show
Yeah?
where parents...
Yeah.
What?
That is the point of a return. Yeah.
I never used to do it though. I would use if else's, but I'm like, I can just return this whole thing. Do an if this condition is true, just stop it. Stop the function.
Yeah.
There's no else here.
Really? You don't do that? Like,
I do it now. I've been getting into a kick of it. It's real fun. It's like edit code. We're done. We're out.
yeah,
You know?
like if you,
It's
I
like
feel like
leaving
most of the time you write a function and happens, you want to end the function,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then
It's
you
like
return.
leaving your home and finding out what was normal and what was weird about the environment you grew up in. I feel like this is like Gabe being like, yeah, I know all kinds of stuff, and it's like, I've seen the stuff you make. You're versatile and good at like tackling new problems, but then something will come out where it's like, I just learned about return functions, and then both Chelsea and Ken are like, what? And then me, who has taken like 2 semesters but 1 credit of computer science total, and even I'm like, what?
Well, I'm sure Gabe knew about them.
Yeah.
He just isn't using them now.
I just wouldn't use them because I was I would always think, well, what if I want something different to happen? But now I don't give a shit. If I want something different to happen, it better happen before it returns, baby! I better figure that shit out fast, because we're done! I also figured out how to properly do parent classes and child classes with the virtual and override.
Cool.
Yeah, so that's actually been like really good and helpful in a lot of ways.
Inheritance
disciplines where like it's almost like there's a final enlightenment that comes from like you going like, oh, I need to relearn all of the fundamentals. Like working on the basics is the ultimate level of like, okay, I figured shit out enough to know that I don't know anything about the basics anymore.
I'm actually like, I'm totally at that point where it's like you talk about shit like interfaces or inheritance, and it's like, yeah, I understand those. Like, it's totally, if it's already set up for me, understand it perfect. But if I were to have to set it up myself, I don't think I could.
The thing is, I taught myself how to set up interfaces, and I've done whole systems using only interfaces because I couldn't get proper inheritance to work.
Mm-hmm.
So I was doing way more work than I had to, but now it's like interfaces. Oh, so they're fun. They're fun and good and chunky lads that I love.
My friendship ended with interfaces.
Yeah.
My
an
best friend
interface
is now inheritance.
An interface is when it's
don't worry, I understand.
I don't think we need software engineer podcast.
Hey, I'm mechatronics engineer. I'm dumb as shit.
Interface is
I'm
like
dumb as shit too.
A set number of ways you can interact with it, like a D&D stream.
We're all dumb as shit.
We all got dumb bitch disease.
The problem with me, I was coming up with a really good analogy, but the analogy implies that incest is what you want. So it's like, if inheritance is...
Child's going, I've got a good way to explain this to the kids.
Yeah, so if inheritance is having sex with a cousin, then an interface is like a step parent, where it's like, this isn't actually incest, but we want it to be for the kiddos.
I feel like this is like talking about like electrical stuff and talking about male and female, and you're like, okay, so the thing with the males and the females is like, and you don't realize that you're like accidentally mixing jargon and sounding like a sociopath.
Did we move on from this? We still have one more run.
So you guys slowly steer your ship in. You killed time and then woke up, like, because you went to bed at, like, 8, you woke up at, like, 2 a.m. and then had to kill, like, a little bit of midnight time. But sure enough, you've got yourself ready, and you're in town for the pickup in, like, twilight. It's 6 a.m. You're going to be flagged for the run.
Cool. Let's get some boxes on our ship and...
Yeah, we should get a parking
rolling.
spot.
Yeah.
Alright, you make your way into the bay, throw your ropes, throw down the gangplank, and start hauling. Let me just do some numbers on you here. Alright, and in total checks, in order to haul these onto the ship, I need a 16.
I'm gonna be a big man. Lift with my arms.
I'd like to imagine that this is Sun entirely compensating for the fact that every other job that he does, he's just like, I'll be in this room if you need me, and then goes into the munitions room.
Yeah.
Well, he's our big beefy man.
I'm a big boy. I got it.
Rutger, they compete for beef.
Mm-hmm.
I got it. Okay, that's a 29. So, like, don't even worry about it.
So you quickly haul all these in, and you're ready to get going down to the other pickups. Who here is doing what on the ship as you start going to your next location? Your instructor has met up with you and boarded silently.
Gary.
Not stealthily, just like, you know, like you were carrying a box, and then he grabbed a box, and then you went for another run, and then when the boxes are done, he was like waiting for you guys to go on the ship. Well,
I'm going to be crafting more SPR rounds. 2 SPR.
All right, so Sun, you head down into the munitions room. You're waiting until you can feel that the ship has like left the docks before you start crafting, because you like stability. Well, see stability on your table. Predictability is what it is. It's not stability.
Yeah.
What's everyone else up to?
Ship stuff, I think.
Yeah, I'm going to ship stuff and then just kind of like think aloud. Just be kind of like, hey Jane, what do you think about X profession? And just listing off different professions.
Are you thinking of a new job to
Well, Sun brought up a good point with the senior wagon inspector. I could just make an identity for myself somewhere where I don't need to go through all the rigmarole of knowing how to inspect a wagon.
That's true.
Like, I could fake the credentials saying that I'm actually a mage and get myself set up in a town.
Keep the conversation going. Jane and Croakwill both, because you guys are keeping an eye on the sails, you get an order because you guys are tacking northward, and you start adjusting them in turn.
Where are we going? Sorry, but what are our stops?
The same as before, I'm assuming?
Same as before, in the same order, or?
You guys watch as your crewmates with the instructor start tacking northward in direct opposition to your previous orders. You can see them looking over the manifesto.
Oh, are we doing them in the reverse order? What?
Tiana kind of gives you like an look and then passes you the manifesto. You are given a different route so that it isn't the same throughout the day. This one switches up the order a bit.
Oh. Okay, cool. I mean, whatever.
So the order is North Isle, Mainland, Western, then Dragon.
Oh, okay. So so north, south, east.
No, northwest, southeast, back.
Yeah, so like up and then kind of one of these.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
All right. You guys, after the flag goes off and you figured this out, you start going northward, waiting for the wind to pick up. It's a little bit past 6 a.m., and the wind is going exactly where you need it, directly in the direction you're moving.
I'm going to ignore that.
Ignored. Got it. Let's pretend that it's not doing that.
I'm going to pretend that it's still mildly inconveniencing me.
Yeah.
So instead of the question of will you go out of your way to like burn time or conserve energy, you guys unload well ahead of schedule, and you're like turning and going back south towards the mainland by the time the next hour kicks in. It is close to like early morning.
Ahead of schedule.
Yeah, the wind shifts slightly and then shifts back to the same direction, sort of like a northeasterly, or northwesterly, I should say.
Wind is against us. Can you believe it?
It always happens this way.
Fucking Christ, Will, rein in your winds.
Hey, get your wind away from my children.
It's like the Bilgewater will be like sailing with the wind and then actively be like, all right, time to turn 180 and sail into the wind and be like, what happened?
I do like to imagine that happens on the ship too. Like Jane's always like, oh my god, again.
This fucking wind.
I'd like to imagine that every time you guys sail against the wind, Jane is like, ugh, and then Tiana's like, ugh, and then Sun is like, ugh, and then Croco's like, ugh, and then the like entire ship with the apparatus is like.
At this point, it's become a routine that Croquill and Bilgy argue over elemental wind in the sails. It's a regular occurrence.
Yeah.
I think the thing I've just realized vis-a-vis how magic and everything trying to do things works. Have you ever played Besieged? I think it's like that. Where like you could technically get like an airplane working. You would not want to be anywhere near an airplane powered by mages.
I mean, I wasn't gonna say it, but the way that you get through the ice wall, like to get through the northern seas, is literally you get a bunch of mages on either side of the ship to just cast fire at like the air around you.
Yeah.
Like, it's very much like, you look at the shit you can get working with magic, and you're like, haha, maybe we should build an engine instead.
Yeah. Like, it could
I
work.
hear there's a person
you could
making
do
a
it.
walk that will get you through the snow passage in no time flat. They just need fire mages on either side.
See, you could take the piston, and you could put gas in it and ignite it, and it would just go kunk, and then put more gas in, and that's good. Or you could have one end of the piston inherently despise the other, and then all you have to do is push them in, and the hatred pushes them out, and that's a car, baby.
Exactly. You could have a bunch of bullets, with a set chemical reaction that'll go off and make them go blam. Or you could just have the arrow, anytime it thinks that it's moving in the direction you want it to, it moves in that way.
Yeah, it was Name of the Wind. I was reading through it, and I was like, this is such specific bullshit about magic that is, like, unnecessarily inane in the way that it functions on, like, a theoretical level. Based. Like,
Good stuff.
So you chug onwards down, very quickly, actually. You, like, tack with the side of the coast and then tack against as you move, like, out of the inlet, and the flow of the water helps you a little bit just on the turn, and then before long the wind catches you, and you're at the... Sure enough, you see it on the side of the bay, painted on, big white block letters, mainland pickup.
As we're unloading, I'm gonna bring up to everybody. So, like, let's say you wanted to go through the ice wall. Could you theoretically get a ship and a bunch of mages just doing like a fire blast out the wall, and then sail through the hole that you make with the fire blast?
Yeah, that's what they do.
Right. Just all the way through. That's what they do. They don't go like above it?
Above the vertically?
Yeah. I mean,
what the hell are you talking about?
Wouldn't that be easier to bring the ship up above the ice?
The ice wall's not a... Will, correct me if I'm wrong on lore. The ice wall's not an actual wall of ice. It is just a lot of fucking snow, real harsh blizzard. You don't want to fucking come here.
You guys have Rooker below deck just sitting there waiting to actually this entire conversation.
No,
it's an ice wall the same way that people describe the snow line in the solar system. It's like it's more accurate than not, but it's not like you're just gonna get somewhere and it starts snowing in space. Like, it's not how it works.
Right. But what you're suggesting is
another thought. Let's say you take a ship. You dig a hole with fire and a ship, protected from the wind, underground, safe from bandits, and you sail underneath everything.
The dwarves did that. You never been to the dwarf roads?
But this is through ice, not through stone.
Mm-hmm. And why would you want to do that exactly?
Save yourself the wind chill.
Yeah, you could get a toboggan and just go the entire route if you do it smart enough.
So you want to
pipe up, and he goes, "Wasn't there a plan to have some kind of land gate or something?"
You're not thinking through the logistics here. I mean, even if you were able to get everything down underground, just the sheer ventilation, like, mining's not safe. Trying to get an underground passage that long, properly ventilated, like, even that alone is a logistical nightmare.
Just get the wizards to blow the air around a bit.
Oh, just get the wizards to do it. Yeah, I had a wizard come and look for leaks.
That's what they already do. They do that with instead of the air, they do the fire, and it's better.
I had a wizard come help me look for leaks in Otto, and I guess Otto's magic now. You did a damn fine job. You did too good of a job. Now Otto's magic. I don't trust this stuff.
Otto pipes up and he goes, "Neither do I."
Yeah, I programmed that in you. he targets mages in battle.
I mean, that's probably smart.
Yeah, in battle.
Yeah, that's the only life he knows.
All right.
So does somebody want to give me a check? You guys can either conserve your energy, keep moving through the day, or you can push through to unload this before moving.
Push through! I gotta get higher than 25 one of these days.
I mean,
It's kind of interesting because I know Sun's build, so it's kind of surprising. It's
4
like
bronze, like
quirk.
plus 10 physical ability, like yeah.
Especially because like each like skill dot, it not only like marginally increases your bonus, it mostly increases consistency.
Yeah.
Like, with 4 dots, you expect the number to be like plus or minus a couple, but basically the same every time, right?
Yeah, your minimum roll is a 14. Your maximum roll is like a 30-something. The fact that you're missing 25 is mind-boggling.
This one's a 29. So
Nice.
All right, 29. You quickly offload these like crates, and you're good to go. They pass you a couple of your own.
I was trying to think of a way to describe getting a sudden burst of energy, and my brain said, "You should shout, I have become engorged." And I don't think that. It's right.
It's like working on your posture, doing a lot of like back and shoulder exercises, and then coming back to your friends, like feeling powerful and upright and being like, "Look at me, friends, I am erect."
Yeah.
Like you are.
You are. You're not wrong. It's like when Slughorn ejaculated. Remember that?
What?
From the. I thought you liked Harry Potter.
There's a line in Harry Potter that, to be fair, I didn't notice it in the books. I noticed it in the beams, but like they describe Slughorn like in the literary sense when you're like, "Boy, you can't do that," where it's like Slughorn ejaculated.
Oh. Huh.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I'm wondering if Slughorn has ever ejaculated in Harry Potter. The answer is yes.
Yeah.
Quite frequently.
Quite frequently.
I'm gonna Google it to see what I find.
All right. Let's continue on.
Safe search off.
All right, the wind shifts again. By now, it's like the late morning. It goes to like the south. Actually, yeah, dead south. And you are heading more or less like southwesterly, so it works in your favor.
East.
Southeasterly. Words are words. I know the directions. It's just the directions turning into words that's the issue. You make decent time. You cut across and you can see the town in the distance, but it's not where you're heading. You're just kind of like moving past. This first, like, couple of them that you've had to go through have been basically like right first thing in the morning as all the fishing as all the fishing boats are about to like carve through and start like netting up fish for the day. You're passing by them. You can see the sunrise easterly coming over kind of like the peak of Dragon Island. By now you're just docking in, and let me get a couple, like one more of these. All right, I need to check.
Check. We're gonna check. I went back to celebrate a birthday.
Dan and I really are not helping in any way.
We got like caught up in conversation, and we're like pretending to help.
25 on the nose. You've discovered that, you know, if you just kind of don't do anything, some will just kind of keep going. They'll just kind of keep doing it.
It's like being a bunch of like 20-somethings working a minimum wage job with like one 16-year-old who thinks that trying will do something.
Yeah.
It's like, no, buddy, if you work harder, they just cut people and pay you the same and then still give you a bad performance review because they actually have to. That's one messed up thing about a lot of like minimum wage jobs is like they literally won't give you perfect reviews because it's such a simple job that most people get perfect reviews.
Yeah.
Like I was in a meeting one point where it's like going through the thing and it's like this is not a brag at all. Like I served popcorn. Can you serve popcorn and be food safe? Congrats. You had my job. You were in the same position. And they're like, yep, nothing wrong. You're kind to the guests. You're on time for your shifts. You blah blah blah. And, like, the only thing they had was, like, yeah, so just make sure that, like, you sign in and out of break at the right times. And it's like, there was no winning. There's no raises. There's no bonuses. It's just, congratulations, we're very pleased with how little we're firing you this time. Like...
Yeah.
And it's shit like that, and they're the one that sends you on break.
Yeah. The amount of times that I have had to answer for my boss's choices, and then the bosses know and are still doing it because otherwise they have to write up their coworkers. It's like...
Funny thing is...
says something like class traitor, you think it's like, oh, there's a big strike, and you report it to corporate, and it's ruined, and now nobody gets bonuses. But the reality is, like, you make $15 an hour... Someone else makes $17 an hour, and that gives them the power to fuck you because they would rather fuck over the people making 15 for the chance of making 19 than just go, oh, I literally just make $2 more than you. We're both fucked.
Yeah.
It's crabs in a pot, man. Crabs in a pot.
And the craziest thing is, someone would get promoted from cast member to manager, and within 2 weeks it would happen. They flip.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
It's like someone tells you, hey, have you tried... Because it's not even about, like, oh, this is politics and class struggle. It's like, no, this is like, you knew me. This is not about whether or not you're a good leftist or whatever other bullshit. Like, no, I know you. You just became a manager and started fucking with my shifts when I'm going on vacation. What the fuck?
Yeah.
I'm glad that I just worked as a baker at Tim Hortons. I came in for my shift, and then I left, and then that was it. And I didn't even have to deal with people.
When I worked at the pizza place, there was another lady that worked there, and there was also a delivery guy that delivered food for a lot of different restaurants in the area, and he would always hang out in this pizza place. And I think, because my boss would leave a lot of the time, and it would usually just be one other staff person. So I bet you they were making out in the back, probably. Which is why he seems so very unhappy to see me there. This, like, high schooler that's like, I'm chopping onions! What are you doing here, bud? You don't work here. He's like, yeah, okay, I guess I have to go deliver food. Bye. So, that's my story.
I left Silver City because I was the bodily fluids guy. And it became very readily apparent that I was going to stay the bodily fluids guy as long as there were bodily fluids in a movie theater. And I was like, fuck this. Like, it was literally like, I quit that job in August and then survived a term without an income, and then that summer I was working as a research assistant. Like, for literally minimum wage, except they respect you.
Yeah.
I worked at Tim Hortons. And I became, like, almost every shift, I cleaned bathrooms. Because I was, like, I think old people would complain about cleaning the bathroom. And so they gave it to me.
Glad that I became a baker at Timmy's. Because I dodged all of those bullets. All they wanted me to do was make donuts for, like, 10 hours. And that was it. And I could fucking do that. I could keep all of those shelves stocked, no problem. And they couldn't take me off for a second. Because the moment I was off, everything went to shit.
It's like, because they tell you, like, you, with enough grit and determination, you can make it. If you work hard, you'll be noticed. If you put in the hours, they'll figure out that you're the person who needs to be promoted. But, like, no, if you put in the hours, especially in something like a minimum wage job, they will never promote you because you do the work.
Yeah, they'll give you a bigger shovel.
Yeah, why would they give you why would they ever make you a supervisor? You're doing two people's work for half a person's pay. They will keep doing that. Like, the worst thing though was like I interviewed a couple times for the supervisor position, and it was like every single time, the people they chose, it was like they would hire like 3 people, and like 5 people would apply, and then like 2 of the people who got it, it was like, okay, you are objectively better suited for this position. Yeah. And then one person would be like, oh right, you're the manager's friend.
Oh no!
And it would be frustrating because these people would be promoted to supervisor, and then their supervisor shifts would come, and they would hang out in the manager's office and shoot the shit, while literally someone else without, like, they would designate it with stripes, like, you would have to just sit there. And, like, if you don't have a supervisor, the work doesn't just not get done. Like, if you don't do the work, you get yelled at, so someone has to be the supervisor. And so it was like, there was a point where it was like, okay, I'm the puke guy because no one else does puke. I'm the de facto supervisor because you hired your buddies, and in the shifts where you don't hire, when it's not your buddies, where it's actually like the good supervisors, they're supervisors. When you hire your buddies, it's because I'm scheduled.
Yeah.
It's like, literally, just give me the pale blue stripes. It's 15 cents. It doesn't affect my pay in any reasonable capacity. I can buy 1 additional burger every paycheck. Like,
yeah.
Crazy.
Tell people I'm in charge. But no, it's about... so much of it is internal politics, and it's like, why do you have to get so petty about internal workplace politics when all of us are making, like...
minimum wage.
Yeah, we're all making minimum wage. We're all young. Like, half of us are going to school, a third of us are going to college, and a sixth of us are saving up to go to school or college. Like, and then there's a couple of us who are like, haha, I'm 27, and I do art, and then this is how I make sure I have food on the table. And those are like a couple of other people who work there. But otherwise, it's like, did you just get through high school and are like, I haven't had enough of the bullshit. Maybe I should bring that to the rest of my life.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, no, that's it, ain't it?
We gotta finish our route, guys. Let's go.
I can't handle people like that. It's like, no, I don't want to do this.
Luckily,
Let's go.
Through like the late morning.
I feel like that entire rant was literally just Ken and Ye and Sun talking about previous jobs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Just ranting about previous jobs.
Man. Yeah.
Let's do our delivery.
Yeah.
We got one last place to go.
So you guys are on a long, lonely route. You're watching the sun slowly peek into the sky on the far side of the Dragon Islands towards sort of the middle. You're going the long way over the bay, and you're talking about like old, angry work experiences you had before you guys owned your own boat and were able to be your own bosses. #girlboss. You make a decently good time. The wind is broadly in your favor. It's going... Actually, I need to re-roll that. I don't think I rolled. Oh, it's a good thing I said words and then they ended up being true. It's broadly in your favor. It's heading southerly. So it's not with you. It's just okay numbers. You just barely make it into the town by about noon.
Okie dokie.
Anyone doing hauling?
Hauling. That's a bad. Oh, that's a bad one. That's not. I got a 17. Pretty low for me.
All right, so you still bust a sweat getting these out, but you still like hear there's a bell in town, like that rings every hour, and then every like 15 minutes with like the ding 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 ding. That clipboard's on the floor.
What a weird bell.
Yeah. There's almost like a Ghostbusters theme for a second there.
Yeah,
like
but
you
then
hear
someone
the
drops
bell ring,
something.
and then the guy physically ringing the bell trips and falls onto the bell.
Ooh. Oh, that'd be like a fun, like the Hunchback in Notre Dame. They should have had a bit where he's ringing the bell and he trips and he's like, "What?" And he's like hanging on the bell and whoa.
Oh god, Esmeralda's near.
Man, that'd be. I've never seen that movie. Maybe that happens. I don't know. I'm gonna Google it.
Snow starts bleeding because it's an anime.
But it's also like It's also the Hunchback of Notre Dame, so the nosebleed is actually like a jet, and that just propels him off the entire tower.
Activate Aquajet.
Oh man.
The wind shifts still like south, but like southeast-ish. Or southwest-ish, I should say. No,
Southwest, that's where we want to go.
Nice.
Southwest, that's with us. I'm gonna ignore that detail.
Ignored.
You know, like a YouTube ad. Hit that skip.
Yeah.
But the
Nobody
moment it's
on the ship
unskippable.
says anything about the wind.
The wind shifts, and then they're like, shifts a bit. They're like, oh, good, the wind shifted.
Yeah.
All right, so that's gonna be a. You make it about halfway across the bay. You're almost in town.
All right. Keep going.
It's noon. You see the like sun high in the sky overhead, and you're basically just doing like the last cruise before you make your way into town. Midway across the bay, the wind shifts, going northwesterly.
We need southwest.
Yep.
I'm gonna make a snide comment about. Oh man, the wind.
The wind.
Am I right?
All right, boys.
If it ain't with you, it's perpendicular to you.
Yeah.
It catches along your sails. You have them kind of like at a 45-degree angle, so it propels the hull along, tips the ship a bit as it like cleaves through the water, weighing in a little bit to the side. You make your way past the village and into the town and dock up. You just have the offloading to do.
All right, offloading.
Which is
Loading.
Offloading.
22.
Yeah, you just need a 13 to get through this. So, son, you very quickly offload all this stuff, and that's a shift.
That's a shift.
I want to say that Crocal actually helped on the final one with like one singular box that she could carry with it, just one hand, puts it down, and just goes, ah.
100% one of those things where you're trying to do that, but someone's like, no, I got it. No, don't worry about it. I got it. Like, it's not heavy.
And then at that point,
Yeah,
Crocal
yeah.
just puts it on top of the pile you have in your hands and go, okay.
Yeah, we're gonna fit. You're gonna finish off. Like, be like, oh, what a long day.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do like the fact that Jane ordered like 15 pounds of meat and then didn't burn any of it. It's just like, this is for the fights we've been in.
Yeah.
I'm doing the work I'm paid for.
I'm paid to shoot people in the face,
Son is just happy to have a job that he isn't gonna have to run from port doing, Like, we're like, oh, you gotta smuggle Imperial notes, or we gotta smuggle sugar, or you gotta not brag about blowing up a bunch of boats. Like, it's hard.
It's so difficult.
Ugh.
Yeah.
You finish this shift, which means there's only one trainer left for you. There is some time between them, but I'm going to say that you've spent a lot of time making money and doing risky runs, so a little bit of just sitting back, killing time at the bent anchor, working on techniques, and when we come back, we'll do the last leg of training. You
Cool.
guys can check us out.
All right.
Yeah, we're at twitch.tv/Mr. Croden. Croden_live nowadays.
Ah.
YouTube is Mr. Croden. And the rules are available at bloodwine.fandom.com, the most recent cohesive version. I'm in the long, interminable process of editing a pet project, and because it's a pet project, it's not really supposed to come out, but like I want it to. Well, I don't know how that's gonna happen. So bloodwine.fandom.com if you want to play this game.
Yep.
Anything coming up?
Oh yeah, I'm streaming the entire rest of this week.
Woo!
I got Halo Reach shenanigans going tomorrow, and that's going to be fun. We turn on a bunch of skulls and see which ones work, and which ones don't. And we play it on a really hard difficulty, so if the ones that benefit us don't work, it just gets harder.
It's a way to do it.
I'm gonna be playing some more Mass Effect on Friday.
Yeah. Ken,
a
Mass Effect streamer, shockingly, after the release of a remastered Mass Effect, is doing some Mass Effect.
Yeah, I'm streaming it quite a bit. And
Remaster Effect?
Master Effect. And then
Remaster
Saturday,
Effect?
we get more with Ken and Will.
Yeah, no gimmicks, just waifus.
Yeah, just waifus.
Waifus.
Ken and I or Will and I are waifus.
Are you the waifus?
Yeah, we're the waifus.
Huh.
For waifus. Okay, so thank you everyone for watching. Thank you for all your support. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye!
Waifus.